the Thomas and Mack Center. Some of the best bump that you will see all summer long here in Las Vegas. Let's talk about this next game. San Antonio Spurs taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Mark Jones courtside with Tim Legler. Katie George joining us in just a moment. Let's talk about the 14th overall pick in the draft, Carter Bryant. When you look at the prototypical 3-and-D guy, the size, the length, he kind of checks all those boxes.
He absolutely does, and he's got 1 year of college experience, so he's a little bit, obviously, of a project. You're thinking of what he's going to be 2-3 years down the road, but there's no doubt he's got the physical profile of what this league specializes in now. Guys that do exactly what he does, which is guard at a very high level, multiple positions, and then be able to step out and extend the floor with his range. And that range will continue to improve as he continues to put the reps in. But right now, you see the athleticism, the size, and his willingness to defend all over the floor.
Played only 19 minutes a game in Arizona, averaged 7 points a game, but shot it pretty well from deep, 37% from deep and 46% overall from the field. He's standing by with Katie George.
Thanks, Mark. I'm with the 14th overall pick, Carter Bryant. Carter, you have 2 Summer League games under your belt. How would you describe the Summer League experience so far?
I mean, it's everything you dream of. So I think for myself, it's just growing, learning with everything. I mean, try not to get too high, get too low. I mean, these games aren't going to define your career. You see a lot of games that guys that had great games that end up not having careers that you would think, or guys that had terrible games that have great careers. So just try not to get too high or too low.
Already in 2 games, we've seen so many defensive highlights from you. What makes you such a tough defender?
I think just my willingness to just defend anybody. I don't care if you're 7 foot 280. I don't care if you're 6 foot 120 pounds. So I think for me, I just try to do whatever I can to win a basketball game, whatever the coaching staff needs me to do.
We appreciate the time, Carter. Best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
San Antonio Spurs, certainly a team making a come up right now. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ledger tonight, the Philadelphia 76ers. Auburn has a bunch of guys that can really play basketball. One of them in the league right now, Johnny Broome. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, you're talking about a guy who most of the year was in a neck-and-neck race with Cooper Flagg for Player of the Year in the country. That's the kind of season that he had. He's a dual threat. He can score, particularly if he gets you in the post and he can get to that left hand. But he's also a big-time rebounder. And so you're going to see him on full display as well. As you got VJ Edgecombe, would have been the guy you're talking about, not going to be there. So now their other draft pick, an opportunity to get more touches and more chances to show you what he's capable of doing.
2-time All-American in Auburn, 3-time All-SEC in the 2025 SEC Player of the Year, amongst other accolades for Johnny Broome. We're going to take a short break. The opening tip-off will be coming up on the other side as we pay a few bills first. Stick around. VJ Edgecombe not playing tonight, the result of a wrist injury they suffered during the Salt Lake City review, their summer league a couple of nights ago. The 76ers, a All-American out of Baylor, a very prodigious talent, and he is really smooth with it at the offensive end.
And I'll tell you what, he showed you more in his debut than I think a lot of people thought he had, because you're talking about a guy who people are saying maybe the best athlete in this draft. So you knew that. You heard comparisons to other great athletes in the league, but what you saw in his first game, his ability to handle the ball, get to some mid-range, shot the ball deep, and of course, some of those explosive athletic plays as well.
Dylan Harper nursing a little bit of a groin injury. Spurs are being cautious with it, as is he, and Katie has a little bit more.
Yeah, Mark, the Spurs already had a few Summer League games under their belt, having played in the California Classic, but they opted to save Dylan Harper's pro debut for Las Vegas due to that minor groin injury you mentioned. The team just wanted to be really cautious about it, so he's sadly not playing tonight, but the expectation is he makes his debut on Saturday against Dallas and Cooper Flagg.
That's a nice way to start it off.
I think so.
Ready for the tip here. Spurs against the 76ers. Take a look at Carter Bryant, the 14th overall pick for San Antonio. The Spurs, a team that should be able to compete in a very crowded yet competitive Western Conference when you look at the big picture. And of course, the 76ers just trying to stay healthy. Joel Embiid continues to mend. Here's Bona on the dribble handoff. Ball knocked away underneath, out of bounds. It'll be San Antonio basketball. Then Bona was impressive in their Salt Lake City play. I mean, he was bruising guys and scoring at a pretty good rate.
I think bruising's the perfect word to describe the way he plays. You're going to feel it when he's on the floor. I mean, he's going to seek out contact in every way that he can. And this is a guy that played 58 games for the Sixers last year, so he had a big taste of what that's like, but his presence is always felt back there.
Minix for three, knocks it home. And the Spurs on the board first. Dominic Barlow, one of the 76ers on the floor, no stranger to Summer League. Coach Shapino, the former Laker, hands it off. Then steps back behind the three-point line. That one halfway down and out. Here's Bryant. Diallo inside with a nice looking jump hook.
Impressive right there. Nice ability to get to that left shoulder and did not rush that jump hook.
Three good from the wing by Justin Edwards. You talk about one of the great stories last year, Tim Legler, for the Philadelphia 76ers was the play of Edwards. Ended up averaging 10 points a game on 46% shooting from the field, but Nick Nurse had a lot of valuable minutes for him at times this year.
Yeah, Sixers have, I believe, 4 different guys out here that played in games for them a year ago, which is more than most teams would have in Vegas.
With Shapino on the miss. Jones Garcia running to the corner for the Spurs. Ingram off the screen. You talk about a deceleration. I mean, he froze.
Wait a second. We have to have a new word because that was not a deceleration.
That was a stop.
That's a full-on stop.
And he glitched.
Well, you talk about, I mean, patience. I mean, you got to be kidding me. That looks like one of those drills that Steph Curry does before the game. when there's nobody on the floor.
That's core work. That's good core work.
My goodness. Wow. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen a harder deceleration than we just watched.
They come up with new moves every day, Tim Legler. These are different times in the league, but everything but the bucket on that last one. Meanwhile, the free throw good by Mintz. Out of Syracuse, undrafted last season. In the senior year of high school at Oak Hill Academy before heading to Syracuse as a 4-star recruit. Goes 1 for 2. Bona with a rebound. A little bit too hot. Edwards couldn't get the handle. Jones Garcia lays it home.
I'm going to make a prediction right now.
Go ahead.
David Jones Garcia is going to be one of the leading scorers in Vegas this summer. He's already done it as the Spurs have had some games leading up to Vegas, and he's been putting up numbers pretty much every night.
He was ready. Looked great up in San Francisco on cue. Laces the 3-ball. Jones Garcia. Played his college basketball at Memphis, a native of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic.
24.5 points a game in the G League a year ago and almost 8 boards. So he just is a guy that understands how to hunt buckets and does it really on every platform. And you saw him already shoot it, got out in transition for a layup as well, but he's got a nice mid-range.
Ingram spins it off glass. Little jelly inside by Ingram makes it 15-4. The Spurs off to a great start. Mintz probes back out to Edwards. Mintz on the drive, elevates. Good verticality, no whistle. Jones Garcia was going to walk into the 3. Would have been better off shooting that. Here's Ingram.
The way he's filling it up right now, I'm pretty much going to say that on every trip. He's better off doing this.
He's not passing that one up, Tim.
He's not, nor should he. Nor should he.
Jones Garcia.
8 points in 4 minutes. That's going to be your Vegas leading scorer when this is all said and done. Light it up, young fella. David Jones Garcia picking up where he's been leaving off pretty much every night.
Tell you what, I had a chance to watch him playing some runs last week down in South Florida. Stan Remy's gym, a competitive field. Andre Drummond was there. Brandon Knight, Hassan Whiteside, Victor Oladipo, Monbo from the Raptors, Emmanuel Quickly, and he was scoring as well as anybody in the gym, and doing it here tonight as well.
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, he's got that kind of confidence level, and he's got the quickness to know that he can get anywhere on the floor that he wants to.
Mintz knocks down the jumper. He's got 3.
Another guy that put up numbers in the G League a year ago, 21 a game for Mintz. Not a great three-point shooter, but he somehow finds a way to get to his spot.
Jones Garcia off the screen. Let's see what he does off the bounce. Playing with his food, got it blocked. And Bona again. We talked about him a moment ago. Edwards trying to get downhill. I'll tell you what, San Antonio, great ball pressure and playing the wings well as well, Tim.
Yeah, look, you're going to see a fair share of turnovers in these type of games because of the lack of continuity that these guys have. That was just an ill-timed cut, and San Antonio's ball pressure created the turnover.
Carter Bryant performing in front of some of his Spurs teammates here tonight. De'Aaron Fox will be joining us a little bit later, along with Harrison Barnes. All reports indicate that big man Wembanyama is on the mend, and tell you what, that's going to be a team to keep an eye on. Barnes, the consummate professional on and off the court, and Fox had his season truncated by a finger injury. You know, props to De'Aaron Fox. He could have shut it down back in December.
Right.
He told me at one point when he was still with the Kings that, well, if you'd seen his fingers, his fingers went 3 different directions, and they're not supposed to. But had surgery, had it fixed, and should be ready to go by camp.
And now you're talking about a situation where you're going to pair him with Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Rookie of the Year, with those 3 guards. Of course, Victor Wembanyama, obviously, and everything he brings to the table. And then some new faces coming in as well, with Carter Bryant being in the mix. Luke Cornett, they went out and added as a backup center, or sometimes playing with Wembanyama. Kelly Olynyk in the fold. So the Spurs season really was derailed last year by Wemby's injury, but they're looking to climb a couple rungs in that ladder in the West this year.
Jones Garcia looking to have something to say in terms of a potential roster spot. Draws the foul. Of course, Mitch Johnson, head coach this year, gets a full season. And shout out to legendary head coach Greg Popovich. Going to miss him on the sidelines, but hopefully when we get a chance to visit the Spurs and do games in San Antonio, we get a chance to see him.
No doubt, and there's going to be plenty of reason to be popping into San Antonio, I think, from this point forward, assuming health for the Spurs.
Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson also. And this is a team that has a great young core. Jones Garcia at the free throw line, off to a great start. He's got 12 already. Now a little full court pressure. Here's Edwards. Back to Broom. Luma pulls the 3 off the bounce. No good. Garcia off the drag screen. Kicks it out. Good decision. And here come the 76ers. Uchafino getting ready to come back into the ball game. Broom on the pick and pop.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference right now between these two teams, San Antonio, because of Garcia, they just have a more of an identity offensively. So they have much better flow in what they're doing, and the hot start that he's gotten off to has created this cushion for Philly. The possession's much more disjointed. Not really a natural point guard on the floor to create offense and make the game a little bit easier for guys.
Great point. Vince at the free throw line for a couple of shots. That foul against Dennis. Hey, Summer League action continues tonight in Las Vegas on NBA TV, ESPN, and the ESPN app. Tomorrow on NBA TV, Memphis against Boston at 4, New York against Detroit at 6, Chicago, Toronto at 8, and then the Clippers taking on the Houston Rockets at 10. We talked about Houston a little bit. What do you make of the Clippers in the Western Conference and what they've done during the offseason?
Well, I think the biggest thing, first of all, going into the offseason, they got through the season with Kawhi Leonard intact. So he ends the year healthy.
And a strong finish by him.
A strong finish. And, you know, you go out and you add Brook Lopez to the mix. A little bit different. Norman Powell not there this year. He had a career year for them. But I think that, to me, is the biggest statement for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard ended the year healthy. So he will have an off season where he's concentrating on his game and maintenance more than rehabbing.
Yeah, remember, they pushed the Nuggets to 7 games and were pretty good at the end of it. Oh, what a nice block inside. That was Osifo. Nelson with the hezzy. Here Nelson Jr. on the floor, number 17 for the Spurs. Had a great sequence at the California Classic. And speaking of wonderful sequences, Ingram with a spin.
That was nice right there. When you got that big wide body and you go downhill, that defender overcommits. You have so much leverage when you're as big as Ingram is to come out of that spin as quickly as he did. You're all alone at the rim.
He's 6'5", but he goes 235. He spent a little time in the weight room working on his skills too. Back after this.
NBA 2K26 Summer League is proudly sponsored by NBA 2K26. Rated E for everyone.
Oklahoma City Thunder in the building. The NBA champs with presence everywhere. Boy, they spent a little bit of money on payroll, didn't they?
Sure did. Those are some of those big, giant Happy Gilmore checks those guys are walking out of the office with.
Hey.
That's what happens, man. Look, and look, you acquired how much young talent that quickly, and you win that early. That's what happens. Make some decisions. They wanted to keep that core 3 intact, and they're going to do that for a while.
Well, you can't be balling on a budget. And they had to spend to keep their talent. Their core players, you mentioned it. J-Dub, Chet, and SGA, the first one to sign. Spurs out to a 24-8 lead, 2:21 to go here in the opening quarter. Going to keep an eye on Jameer Nelson Jr. He's had a good summer so far, especially up in San Francisco, and a nice bucket off the drive that time by Mangus. Kyle Mangus out of Indiana Wesleyan. Uchafino with the reverse. And the Spurs looking to push. Osifo a little bit loose on the handle. Loose ball. And we're going to get a jump ball. Hey, what these teams playing hard. And it's like you pointed out a little bit earlier, here in Summer League, it's not just about trying to impress the respective coaches and upper management. This gym, for the next 10 days, throughout the almost 80 games that will be played, have a bunch of scouts, not just from the NBA and the G League, but from overseas. I've met scouts from Italy, from Spain, from Greece, from Germany, from Lithuania, all corners of the basketball globe.
A lot of places out there to go play and make some money.
Yes.
And do it for a very long time. There's just not that many jobs available in the NBA So you see how hard these guys are playing, and if it doesn't lead to minutes in the NBA this year or at any point going forward, there are so many opportunities to be able to continue your career and go make a good living. And that's what a lot of these guys are trying to do. Certainly they'd love to get a spot with their parent team. Some of these guys, the draft picks, are going to have an opportunity to do that. For other guys, it's just about playing the right way and showing out on the right night with the right person there.
Right.
And beauty being in the eye of the beholder, and getting an opportunity to just continue to play and chase your dream and make money while you're doing it.
Dexter Dennis at the foul line. 76% free throw shooter, goes 1 for 2. Osifo out of Jacksonville is playing real hard. That's the third time tonight that he has been the first one to hit the deck on a loose ball. Undrafted in 2023, second-year pro. Now, I will say he has a proclivity to foul a little bit. He had 9 fouls in 18 minutes in a game against Miami on Saturday up in San Francisco.
This is one guy with the ball right here I'm going to keep an eye on tonight. Mark Armstrong from Villanova. I just think he's a dynamic guard. Spurs first in that turnover. Their pressure's just been too much right now for Philly to deal with. But I want to keep an eye on Armstrong, because I think he's got a nice change of gear and he's got a really good feel for the game and natural point guard. Oh, Sixers.
Little zone.
Going to a zone defense here. Anything to slow this roll of the Spurs, up 27-8 here early, and it leads to a turnover.
Armstrong on the break. Missed his own shot. Put back. But Shafino pulls it out to Slauson. They swing it around to Aluma, and he knocks it home. TJ DeLeo, the Summer League head coach for the 76ers, coming back to the zone again, Tim.
Had some success the last time around. Careless pass on the perimeter. Philly got the steal, got numbers early, and ended up with 3 on that trip.
7 on the shot clock. Bryant. Did he hit the glass on that?
Sure did.
Okay.
And you know what I loved about it? He didn't even flinch after. You got to play it off like that's exactly the angle you were looking for, even though I personally don't recall ever attempting to bank a shot from that angle.
Here he is again across midcourt. On the drive, Dexter Dennis draws the foul. And the San Antonio Spurs already working on a 30-point quarter. Here's that bank shot again.
That's a tough one. Going right, step back. Wow. Oh, no, he did give you a little bit. Gave you a little bit of a shrug there. It's okay.
Carter Bryant out of Arizona.
All I can say on that, Mark, is the basketball gods will rob him enough over the course of his career. It's nice to get one back every now and then.
Right. Carter Bryant with great measurables. When you look at his 6'8" size, he has a 7-foot wingspan. And posted a 3/4 sprint at the combine of 3.07 seconds. 31-inch standing vertical.
And you look at an organization like the Spurs that have always drafted so well, they find those diamonds in the rough.
And there's a block by Carter Bryant. But a foul called on the play. Man, he pursued that. He packed that on the glass.
Serious bounce on that to track that all the way to the rim. Ends up, Armstrong's going to get 2 free throws out of this. But, man, you saw Bryant had his eyes on that the entire way, trying to time that up.
Meanwhile, here's your guy Armstrong at the free throw line. Missing the first, and Philadelphia really stuck in neutral offensively right now, Tim. Down by 20.
Yeah, they need some of the guys on that team that have had a little bit of NBA experience to get it going offensively. But I was finished my thought about Bryant. You know, the Spurs find these guys because there's not a big sample size on him. 1 year, you said it, 19 minutes a game. Didn't have gaudy numbers, but they're just looking at him in the profile and projecting out what he can be.
Nelson Jr. drew the foul on what appears to be a 3-point attempt. Jameer Nelson Jr. going to the free throw line. Fouls against Hood Schifino.
Right on the forearm. That was a nice job that time by Nelson to wait as long as he did for Schifino to come down and force that contact on his forearm.
Nelson Jr. played a couple of seasons at George Washington, then 2 with Delaware before finishing up at TCU. First team All-CAA, All-Defensive team as well in the conference. Of course, his dad Jameer, 14-year NBA vet and current general manager for the G League Delaware team. You get down that way a little bit. You get to the games?
Pop in there, Kate.
Pop in?
Absolutely.
Because you might be the busiest man in showbiz, man. You don't sleep much.
That's for sure. I'm not getting enough right now.
Bona missing the heave. And, hey, at least he pulled the trigger at the end. Jones Garcia with a couple of 3 balls to start the game off and never looked back after that. He's got a total of 12 points and 3 for 4 from deep overall. Back after this.
We're back in Las Vegas where the Spurs have a 22-point lead in large part because of David Jones Garcia. David, you've been on a scoring tear all summer league. What do you hope you're proving right now with your play?
Just playing the right way. Coach always talking about playing the right way, so I'm trying to do my best. And I guess today I started being in a nice situation. I was open a couple of times, and I was able to make the shots.
One of the difficulties of Summer League is getting a bunch of new players to play well alongside each other, especially on the defensive end. You hold these guys to just 12 points in the first quarter. What do you think of the defensive effort?
We've been working that since we got to San Antonio to a training camp for Summer League, and I think the games in San Francisco brought us together, and I think we executed right now.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
And what a spectacular play during that interview with Jones Garcia. Armstrong at the other end might have ignited a fire of sorts for the Sixers today.
Yeah, I referred to him as dynamic. I really like his game, but I did not know that he could get off the floor to that extent. I mean, that's something that's going to hopefully wake this team up a little bit with the slow start they've had offensively. Best way to do that, pick up your defense, get out in the open floor and finish it. That's exactly what Armstrong did.
That was a highlight for sure, but the 76ers still down 20 as Diallo goes to the free throw line for San Antonio. Jones Garcia actually a little time with the Dominican national team in the preliminary rounds pretty recently. Here's Armstrong off the screen from Bona. Looked very comfortable on that midi, Tim.
You saw that change of speed right there. He's so good at that. He'll get low, lull you to sleep a little bit, and he's got incredible acceleration coming off those ball screens. Creates 8-10 feet of separation from the screen. Gives him space for that mid-range.
Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay at this end. San Antonio basketball.
You watch this. Now he's just upright, sort of relaxed, and then that burst right there. Look at how much distance he covers with just one dribble. He covers about 10-12 feet with one dribble to get into that mid-range. And again, you see the elevation on that shot.
Minix inside over Armstrong. Got it and one.
Minix has a really nice feel as well. He's a guy that can really score. He's not necessarily the most athletic. He's not going to blow by you, but he's strong. Very good footwork, always on balance. And that time he had a size advantage down low, so he's able to finish that through the contact.
Going to the line to try and complete the three-point play and does that. Minix 2 of 3 from the field, 6 points.
See Bryant, how hard he just worked to deny Edwards the basketball coming off that down screen, and then doesn't miss a beat with the switch on the Mintz and pressures him.
And got the block, Tim.
And finishes it with his head on the rim. and a block.
Boy, that's a clip and save for the defensive reel, no doubt. Carter Bryant putting on a clinic defensively in that last possession. Wow, he blew up that half-court set.
3 things on 1 possession, and this is how he finishes it off. Look how high he is. His head is literally level with the rim when he comes in here for this block. But prior to that, he blew up a down screen by denying Edwards, and then he pressured the ball into the backcourt to speed the Sixers up more than they wanted it.
And there's another block by Bryant. He's got 3 tonight. Make it 4. 5, no, but a foul underneath.
I mean, that is eye-opening athleticism that he's showing you right now.
He's got his own personal no-fly zone in there, Tim.
And the other thing, look, after this was over and the whistle occurred, right after that block, now here's the whistle. He clapped his hands together. He's frustrated. He didn't get that 5th block you were talking about right there. So that's a guy that clearly takes a lot of pride in what he's doing on that end of the floor.
Barlow knocks down the first free throw. Of course, when you have Victor Wembanyama patrolling the paint, it's a guy that can always fix a lot of perimeter defensive mistakes, but cut down on mistakes, and wow, it makes it twice as tough.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I mean, you see him on tape. Did not see a lot of him last year in his 1 year at Arizona. But when you see it here, courtside, like the type of reaction time that he has and the way he easily gets off the floor to play above the rim as really a small forward is impressive.
Going to be a foul against the 76ers. Sideline out of bounds as Armstrong comes out of the ball game. He had a nice stretch there of minutes, but the deficit remains 19 for Philadelphia.
Philly goes back to the zone with Bona at the top.
That last foul was against Bona. Nice pass inside. They lacerate that zone. Shot from the edge is good. Great ball movement. Dexter Dennis catches out.
Spurs are just much more cohesive offensively. They just have so much more of a purpose, as if they've been playing together much longer than the Sixers team that's out here right now. But it all came together pretty quickly for them as well. They just know how to move the basketball together.
Wow, Bona had his shot blocked. That's going to be goaltending. Bona does a great job, Tim, of using his shoulders to make space.
Yeah, and he's just so active. I mean, that's what stands out, always has about him. He's relentless energy, just constantly in pursuit of contact and also chasing that basketball off the glass.
Nelson Jr. inside, drew the foul, and we'll get a couple of more shots. Nelson Jr. was on San Antonio Summer League team last season and played with the Austin Spurs in 24-25. He'll go to the free throw line. Average 11.3 points per game and 75% from the foul line. Hey, Summer League access is one tap away with the NBA app. Download today to follow tomorrow's stars and keep up with every game in real-time highlights and with real-time highlights and scores. Barlow comes out. Were you a big Philly basketball guy when Jameer was playing?
Oh,
there?
for sure. I mean, I was just about to say that Philly connection I'm always going to talk about. You're talking about one of the great college guards of his generation, and then went on to have an incredibly productive professional career as well at the NBA level, man. So, yeah, shout out to him. It's been a while since we've seen Jameer Nelson doing all those things, but nobody in Philadelphia will ever forget all the things that he did at St. Joe's and then certainly as a pro as well.
I'm glad that you can give St. Joe's some love coming from a fellow Philadelphia.
I'm far enough removed finally that I can say those kind of things without gagging on my own words.
Without resentment?
Yeah. I used to have a hard time getting that sentence out.
There's father and son at the draft. I remember that draft year. I think I worked that draft year. Jameer, of course, part of that great backcourt tandem with Delonte West. It's going to come back the other way. Spurs basketball leading 42-20. Mark Jones, Tim Legler, Katie George courtside here on opening night of the NBA 2K26 Summer League. Jones Garcia has been the story of the evening so far, bringing it up court here against Edwards. Got him on that hostage dribble, had him in jail on his hip, got it and put it home.
Look, I don't know if it's going to be in San Antonio or where it's going to be, but this dude needs a job in the league in somebody's rotation. This is just easy for him.
He was a member of the Utah Jazz G League team last season. Edwards' jumper is short, rebounded by San Antonio, one and done. Angus, tough pass, never made it. Bona on the handle, all the way to the rim. And then Bona with a nice move. Took it 94 feet, Tim.
And that was impressive because he was going so hard downhill, but he was able to stop and stay under control with Diallo right in his face. And Bona slowed it up enough to shoot a shot that was under control.
Jones Garcia, light work for him at this point. He's got it stuck on automatic, up to 17 points. 4 of 5 from deep, too.
Now, you remember what I said after the first layup. He's going to lead Vegas Summer League in scoring. We'll see if it holds true, but I mean, this is just, yeah, this is child's play for him right now. As easy as this looks, anything he wants to do, anywhere he wants to get on the court.
That three good. Another one from the Spurs and minutes. And timeout called by the 76ers, who are really leaking oil right now, down 50-22 under a three-point barrage.
Vegas, we're getting to spend some time courtside with BJ Edgecombe, the #3 overall pick by the Philadelphia 76ers. I gotta say, we were pretty bummed when we heard you weren't going to be playing in tonight's game. How's the thumb doing?
My thumb is good. It's good. It's getting better. I'm pretty bummed too that I'm not on the floor with my teammates right now, but it's all for the best. So.
We're told that you're going to be reevaluated on Saturday. Is there any chance that we could possibly see you play out here in Vegas?
Hopefully. Just hopefully, I'm able to get on the court. I mean, it'll be a dream come true to play in Summer League, so it's going to be good if I'm allowed to play.
So often we see guys in Summer League, it takes them a couple of games to kind of find their rhythm and get comfortable. Not you. You're 28-10 in your Salt Lake Summer League debut. What was that game like for you?
I just take it as a regular game. It was just a regular game. I just went out there happy to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Me and my coaches, they had faith in me, had confidence in me, and I was ready to go hoop. I never overthink it. Just went there and play basketball.
Since being selected #3 overall, what have your conversations with Nick Nurse, who's here tonight, Daryl Morey, been like about their goals for you this summer?
We haven't talked much about that. They just want me to focus on Summer League, take it one step at a time, try not to rush anything. So they know I'm focused on Summer League, whatever game plan Coach TJ has first, and then they'll talk to me after that.
Given the way that you play the game, how do you hope to impact this team as a rookie moving forward?
Just go out there and play hard, play defense make wide open shots, straight line drives, whatever I have to do, just to impact the game, defending, rebounding, all of that.
Have you gotten any time to spend or talk with some of the roster guys like Tyrese or Joel?
Yeah, I've talked to them. I've talked to both Tyrese and Joe. So, they're great guys, so I'm looking forward to meeting them.
What excites you most about joining this organization?
I think it's a great organization, just being surrounded by superstars. I get to go.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, I get to learn every day, learn from everybody, to be honest. That's the most exciting part about it.
BJ, thank you for the time. We hope that thumb gets better.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Mark?
I'll tell you what, he's an extremely talented guy, and had a chance to watch him play with the Bahamian national team a couple summers ago. They came within a couple of plays last summer of making it to the Olympics, and he was a central part of their success story. When you talk about him and Buddy Hield and Eric played on the team as well. Manigas. Eric Gordon, pardon me.
Well, I can tell you this. I think the fan base of Philadelphia is going to love Edgecombe because he loves to play. He competes. He's going to give you something spectacular with his athletic ability every night. Like, he's going to give you that excitement level, but I think he's a better all-around offensive player. than people in Philly even realize.
Right. Well, hope to see him sooner rather than later here on the court. And look who showed up in the building. Victor Wembanyama. NBA 2K26 Summer League, and look at San Antonio Spurs. Extremely impactful rookies the last couple of years. Both the rookies of the year. Stephon Castle really gained a lot of momentum as the season gained speed. So did he, and a much better playmaker and shooter to come as well. And Victor Wembanyama, we hope to see him back on the court sooner rather than later. Of course, his season was truncated by the blood clotting issue. And don't know about any kind of official update on whether or when he's going to start playing, but hope to hear some good news soon.
Yeah, slight pause, with the injury, we hope, on his development, because, you were starting to see it in year 2, like what he's capable of doing. There are certain things on the court that he would do. I think every night I watched him, and I'd say that's the only guy in the league that can make that play that he just made. And so you're right, hopefully nothing but health in this upcoming season for him as
Jones Garcia
continues.
He has been metronomic in his scoring tonight. On and on beats. Back and forth. Non-stop. 19 on a very efficient 7 of 9 from the field. 4 of 5. You know what? I can remember, you and I have been coming to Summer League for a long time now. I can remember Fred VanVleet betting on himself, playing well, getting shut down, and signing a deal with the Raptors. I can remember Terrence Davis playing with the Denver Nuggets, playing well in his first 2 games, then getting shut down and signing a contract. I mean, I would bet Jones Garcia is tracking that same way right now. He's putting money on tape, Tim.
Yeah, particularly even doing that right there. That's pressuring up 45 feet out and just taking a crossover that was put right in front of him that leads to 2 more in the open floor. And I just love the way also he got his body in to the defender and showing you that strength to bounce him off and then get to the rim for an easy layup.
Nelson Jr. on that Nash dribble. Comes outside to Ingram. That's short. Rebounded by San Antonio. Another opportunity. Under 2 minutes to go. Jones Garcia had it knocked away by Barlow. Out to Dennis. Dexter Dennis. Deadly from deep. He's got 8, and it's a 30-point advantage for San Antonio. Tell you what, the Spurs came out ready to play tonight. But you said keep an eye on that guy Armstrong, and you were right. Since taking the court, he's made an impact.
He's got that best dunk of the night that we've seen on the breakaway, a midi and now a 3. Yeah, you watch him on film and you're just impressed with everything he's doing out there. The quickness and the burst is something that you have to have at this level at his size, but it's just also just his aggressiveness and getting to his spots. Very impressive, and very impressive what we've seen here tonight. One of the few bright spots for Philly here in the first half.
Jones Garcia knocks down the free throw on the defensive 3-second call. He's got 22. And somebody at halftime is going to tell Jones Garcia, hey, here's the record in the building. You want? I think you're in range. Well, you might be asking the way he's going. Dexter Dennis comes out of the ball game.
Kind of feels like if he wanted to, and he got hold of that number, he might think about it right now, because he's not really breaking a sweat with what he's doing.
He had 12 in the first quarter, 10 so far in the second, with 1:12 to go, and we've got a little infection control happening, which usually occurs when somebody's bleeding. So they get some little Febreze on that thing. Clean it up a little bit. That's Broom. He knocked down a nice jumper a moment ago, by the way, out of Auburn. Hey, Summer League continues tomorrow on ESPN with a quadruple header. The Hawks take on the Heat at 4:30 Eastern, followed by the Jazz and Hornets at 7. Our third game features the Wizards and Suns, and we cap it off all with the Trailblazers taking on the Warriors at 11. And speaking of the Golden State Warriors, been kind of quiet in the offseason. A lot of people waiting for the shoe to drop in terms of what's going to happen with Jonathan Kuminga. Will he remain a Warrior? He's a restricted free agent. I mean, he was a lifesaver, a lifeline in the playoffs after Steph got hurt especially.
Yeah, I look, I'm on the record as saying for Jonathan Kuminga, I do feel like the Warriors need that level of athleticism, but I also feel like he's been there long enough that he shouldn't still be auditioning, and it feels that way to me. Maybe, you know, he needs a situation where he's got a fresh set of eyes on him. I know he's got some works as a player, but I also think he's got a lot that he brings to the table, and he's still very young. Yeah. And I don't know what's going to happen for him to reach his peak in Golden State if it hasn't already sort of trended in that direction. And I still feel like there's cynicism about him. So you're right. I was very much waiting to see what was going to happen with Kuminga as we headed into the summer.
Ingram. Minutes. Good defense by the Sixers and the steal. 2-on-1 and the flush. Aluma with the flush. Another minute to go now. Corner three, a rare miss from deep for San Antonio, who shot it real well from downtown. They're 11 of 18 here in the first half. Slauson comes out of the ball game, former second-round pick of the Sacramento Kings. Boy, Edwards had a handful of Phoenix's jersey. Carter Bryant trying to drive the closeout. Raises up on the turnaround and left it short. Ingram blocked underneath. Here's Hood Schifino.
And you saw Bryant, you know, go to that back down and shoot the turnaround jumper. That's definitely not in his wheelhouse right now. But, you know, this is the kind of place you experiment with that and try to grow as a player. Right now, definitely more comfortable getting on the offensive glass or shooting that corner three. But, man, it's his defense. His effort defensively in the ground, he can cover laterally at his size.
Like you said, on cue right there.
Right there again, just, you know, he just covered those 12, 15 feet as that ball was being inbounded to get that steal.
Carter Bryant with another defensive gem, catalyzing that turnover, which led to the and one.
Yeah, it's great instincts. He actually started out inside the three-point line, and by the time he gets his hand on that basketball, he's out in their half court. Able to retrieve it, make the right play down the middle, and San Antonio once again headed to the line.
Got that Kendall Gill look. You and I are the same demographic. Don't pretend you don't know.
No, of course. Kidding me? I know what you're talking about.
Good hands by Nelson Jr. Quick Schifino, they break the press to Armstrong. That's the right guy for the job, but he comes up short. A little bit of time for the Spurs if they choose. Ingram, one more to count. Nelson. That's the end of a very successful first half for the San Antonio Spurs, who hang 64 on the board against Philadelphia. Much to the liking of Victor Wembanyama, the former Rookie of the Year. Jones Garcia brought his A game tonight. With a name like Jones, you know he can hoop. Back after this. Arrives. It's 64-35 for the Spurs as we get ready to start the third quarter play. Mark Jones courtside, Tim Legler. Katie George going to be joining us in just a moment. But, boy, the story of the first half was the San Antonio Spurs. You see all the points they hung on the Sixers to start. And David Jones Garcia had it going from the opening tip, Tim.
Yeah, he got into it early, and I think that's what really made their offense flow. But he showed you he's been putting up numbers the entire summer for the Spurs, and He got into it early with his mid-range, his deep shot, and then showing you that defense getting out in the open floor. 22 points on just 13 minutes in that first half.
Well, we looked up the scoring record at Summer League, and Anthony Morrow has the record of 47. Somebody needs to get word to Jones Garcia on that. Minix over Bona. Loose ball out of bounds. It'll stay at that end.
Question will be for Jones Garcia with this lead. We'll see what his minutes look like in the second half if this continues. But he was the difference. I mean, he was on a completely different level offensively than everybody else on the floor in that first half. And I think as a result, Spurs played with a lot more confidence. I think they had more energy overall.
And Carter Bryant was on another level at the defensive end with 4 blocks in that first half. And blew up a bunch of other half-court sets. Mintz with a nice pump fake. And the follow good by Barlow. Barlow actually spent a little bit of time with the San Antonio Spurs a couple of seasons ago. Played for their squad in the Summer League. San Antonio running some 45. Ingram on the drive. Bryant for 3. And Barlow with a rebound, but a foul underneath. That's going to go against Hood Shafino. Had a hold of Diallo.
And you could see with Bryant, like the ball comes off his fingertips. Nice. He's got really nice mechanics on that shot, and he gets rid of it quickly. I'm excited about what his future is going to be, just based on what we've seen tonight. Like the kind of athlete that he is, the commitment to defense, but he gets rid of the shot extremely quickly. It's out of his hand after he catches it.
On the putback, San Antonio with another bucket, pounding the offensive glass. That was Minix. He's up to 11. Tough bucket and one. That's Mintz that scored the hoop, and man, they were riding him like Seabiscuit the whole way down the floor. Jones Garcia was on his hip. Foul's going to go against Diallo.
Yeah, he had him on his back like he had snacks in there, like a backpack. I mean, it's rare that you'll see a guy keep someone on their back as long as he just did, and then still be able to find the gap once you get to the rim to finish.
Here's Jones Garcia. They're going to show him a lot of bodies. Minutes into the corner. Good skip pass. Open Bryant. Rebound and put back. Jones Garcia rebounds it too. What a night he's having.
Yeah, he averaged just under 8 rebounds a game in the G League, in addition to giving you almost 25 points a game. So showing you a little bit of work there on the glass as well. And another good look for Bryant. He's just struggling right now to finish these shots off, but he's taking the right shots in the flow of what they're trying to do.
Edwards from deep. Left that on the front rim. Barlow pursues it and lays it home. Good relentless rebounding by Barlow. He's got 4. Garcia out top. There's Ingram. Not the way they drew it up, but they'll take the 3 ball anyway.
Now he's got a couple of those. He's got nice mechanics as well. And again, that was kind of what's happened all night for San Antonio. Even on his possession where they don't handle the ball cleanly, it leads to an open 3.
But Chapino will come out of the ball game. Mark Armstrong came in and he gave this team a spark in that second quarter. Barlow on the post up. Partially blocked. And back the other way, it's Jones Garcia. Nice dive to Bryant. And got fouled on the dunk attempt. And Bona said, not going to put any highlight reels together with me.
And then both of those guys are having a laugh. over that, because, you know, Bryant was trying to put him in the rim, but Bona wasn't having it. It's a nice delivery by Jones Garcia. He could have gone to the three-point shooter on the left side, but a great delivery to Bryant, so he could just catch it and get off the floor with 2 feet without having to put it down.
So Carter Bryant will go to the free throw line. Diallo will sub out of the ball game for San Antonio.
Diallo cut his hand. I wondered if he cut it on the rim. He challenged that last shot. It came up with a block on that end, but he's got a cut on his hand, and I'm wondering if he caught it on the rim.
Carter knocks down the first free throw, a 70% foul shooter a season ago at Arizona. Grew up a Arizona Wildcat fan his entire life. His auntie, Shaquilla Torres, played volleyball at UA. And Bryant up to 5. He's not the guy you want to see when you get the inbound pass and you're bringing it up court, right?
Now, you look at the energy that he's willing to expend defensively. I mean, it just, you don't see guys with that kind of frame. First of all, that young to have that kind of frame, to be able to cover that kind of ground laterally the way Bryant can, sideline to sideline, pressuring the ball.
Look at some of these guys, and like Cooper Flagg in the previous game, you forget they're as young as they are. Carter Bryant just 19. Cooper Flagg 18. Meanwhile, the 76ers with Vince at the free throw line trying to chisel into at least a little bit of that imposing lead held right now by San Antonio.
And regardless of what you're seeing right here, there's no question the Philadelphia 76ers are one of the most enigmatic teams in the NBA. Their year was, it was almost like the year they didn't have a year ago, with their top guys just playing 112 games combined. Their top 3 players, Embiid only played 19, 41 for Paul George, 52 for Maxey. All of those guys expected to be healthy at the start of the year. So, you know, if you buy into the fact that, hey, maybe this is the year they keep those guys healthy, particularly Embiid, how could you not think they could do a lot of damage in the East? There's some teams that have a lot of questions at the top, dealing with their own injuries.
Some people would say the East is pretty wide open this year. You look at Boston really changing significantly, and Cleveland really the only team that returns whole. Indiana, of course, without Tyrese Halliburton for the entire season.
Yeah, I think Cleveland and the Knicks probably the 2 most known commodities, because the Knicks are fairly intact. They just made, obviously, a coaching change. Mike Brown in there now, so he's got to take time to acclimate himself to that roster. But, yeah, look what Indiana's dealing with going to the NBA Finals. Tyrese Halliburton goes down with that Achilles injury in Game 7. Jason Tatum with an Achilles injury. And then they make some personnel moves as well, so there's question marks there. And then you've got teams like Orlando, Detroit, like they're like the next teams on the rise. These young cores that both got better, I believe, this summer, particularly with Desmond Bane going to Orlando. So the East has a lot of questions, and then you've got this team like Philly sitting there 13th in the Eastern Conference last year with all of that talent at the top of their roster.
Health is everything. Their season pretty much proves it.
They also got a breakout year out of Quentin Grimes. Boy, after
who remains unsigned, right? As
remains unsigned, but Philly very confident they're going to be able to sign him. However that plays out, they think he will be there, whether it's a qualifying offer, whatever it ends up being. I think it'll be something longer term for more money. He certainly earned it, man. He lit it up once he got to Philadelphia. So they may have found, you know, this diamond in the rough, and Quentin Grimes is a far better scorer, I think, than they realized. So Philadelphia just, there's so many questions, but I think there's a lot of upside potential if they can keep their stars healthy.
Yeah, not to mention Jared McCain, right, who was having a great rookie season.
Another great
before his season was ended due to an injury.
And you add now VJ Edgecombe to the mix.
Yeah. Hoping to see Edgecombe here in summer league play sooner rather than later. Nice beat underneath to Osifo. San Antonio continues to roll 78-43. Ball knocked out of bounds, and man down in front of us, Ingram bouncing up with a little bit of help from his friends. Back after this.
Spurs organization has to be really happy with their summer league team. We're joined now by veteran forward Harrison Barnes. Harrison, great to be with you. What do you think of the guys on the court so far?
I think they're playing hard. I think anytime you come to summer league, you want to see the young guys play well. So it's good to see them, bonding, playing well, and winning today.
What's impressed you about David Jones-Garcia? He seems like he's been on a tear.
He's been playing great. I talked to him before the game. He's a good kid. Obviously, good to see him out here playing well, contributing, and leading these guys in this game.
You guys have made some offseason moves, but one of the biggest things was elevating Mitch Johnson to the full-time head coach when obviously Greg Popovich decided to retire. Why do you feel like Mitch was the right man for the job?
Well, I think just the standard that he sets every day, right? I mean, being with Coach Pop, having the trust of the players, the trust of the organization. I mean, he's the right guy to lead this franchise forward.
After De'Aaron Fox was traded midseason, it felt like you guys were finally starting to click. And then you have Victor Wembanyama get sidelined with the blood clot. What excites you about continuing to kind of develop and grow as a collective group next season?
Just the fact that everyone's hungry to win. I think that a lot of guys are coming into their own. They put a lot of work in this summer. The ability to have the guys that we have, plus the new additions, I think everyone's excited.
What did you make of the Luke Cornett signing?
Luke is great. I had a chance to talk to him, played against him a lot, so I think he's going to help us tremendously.
And then what does Kelly Olynyk add?
That's another guy I know very well. I'm old, so I know.
You know everybody.
I know all these guys, but I know Kelly will help us. Smart player, high IQ, can stretch the floor, so I think he'll fit into everything that we're doing.
And then Mark Jones has to know, are you currently at 225 pounds? Is that something that you, every single season, you come in weighing the exact weight?
I think I was like 224.8, so like I'm right there in Vegas. I eat well here, so we'll see if I still maintain that, but that's the goal.
Mark, you hear it. He's there. He's there. He's already in in-season form. Thanks, Harrison. Good to see you.
That's really good to see you guys.
The consummate professional, the Senator, Harrison Barnes. He's going to do something real big to change the world after his basketball career is finished. But still a lot left in the tank. Eager to see him in the Spurs this year.
And you know a guy's in tune with their body and their conditioning when he can just drop the exact number.
0.8.
Exact number.
224.8.
Yeah.
It's funny, you look at Harrison Barnes' role on this team because it's a very young core when you look at Wemby, Devin Vassell is here courtside. Keldon Johnson is on the young side of things. Sohan, Stephon Castle. So his presence as a steadying hand really becomes that much more important.
Oh, no question. And look, I think the big thing with Harrison Barnes, he's always been known for that guy that wants to set the tone in the weight room, in the film room, with his conditioning, with his approach to it, following game plans, watching film. Very important for young players to see veterans lead the way in that regard.
Dexter Dennis from deep. Knocks down another three. He's up to 14 on the night.
He's got a nice stroke. He's now got back-to-back threes, and that one, a little bit less time to get it off. Came into that catch and shoot, got it off from deep.
Aggressive defense by the Spurs. They are really making the Sixers feel them, Tim, defensively, and they get the turnover out of it again.
Yeah, that's what they clearly have identified they wanted this to be about, because their defensive energy has been the best, I think, of the four teams that we've seen tonight, you and I.
Easily, yep.
And it just, the support from the bench, too. It's been pretty awesome to watch how vocal and loud their bench has been. It just creates a natural energy for you to go out defensively and want to compete that way.
Got a quick look at Sean Sweeney to the right of Mitch Johnson, the head coach. Sean Sweeney, erstwhile of the Dallas Mavericks, was Jason Kidd's top assistant coach. Now will be joining Mitch on the bench. And Corliss Williamson on the other side of Mitch Johnson, a.k.a. Big Nasty, back in the day. Nelson got it back and then drew the foul underneath. It's going to be sideline out of bounds. Foul's going to go against Hood Schifino. That's his 6 personal foul, but no DQ for him. Of course, in Summer League, you get to use 10.
Well, then don't take him back to the room again.
No.
That's why I'd look at that.
Use all 10. Maybe before the game's over, too. Back after this.
Here we go. Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. Here we go, kid. Here we go, kid. Here we go, kid. No, you middle. Your middle. Kyle, go opposite. Hey. Kyle, up. Good take, Dex. Good take, Dex. Good take, baby. Red. Oh. Yo, he touched it. Here we go. Just gotta smile a little bit.
Tim, tell me about the importance of talking.
Yeah. It's critical defensively, and it's rare to see young players do it as much as Carter Bryant is. I mean, you could just tell he's got that type of personality, very charismatic, but the communication factor defensively, so important. It's such a difficult thing to get guys to do that aren't naturally prone to do it. But it is everything defensively. When you can communicate, far fewer mistakes are made. Rarely do you get 2 guys running at the same player, which is always going to lead to something good. So the communication, particularly when it's coming from the baseline, because you can see everything in front of you, critical to be an elite defensive team.
Bryant, the catalyst defensively tonight, 6'8", 225 pounds, 19 years old, the 14th overall pick. First rounder for the Spurs. Backdoor cut, and Bryant with a rebound off the miss. Dexter Dennis has been on a little bit of a heater of late. He's got 14 tonight. Here's Bryant. Rejects the screen, back to Nelson. Money knocks it down. Boy, they have shot the 3 extremely well. 16 of 26 from deep. Almost got a turnover, and they do. 3 on 2. Why not?
Yeah, and they're shooting it well because the quality of their shots have been really high because they're making the extra pass and they're creating numbers with their defense by getting out the open floor. That's always going to lead to better looks from the 3-point line.
Broom underneath. With the putback, he's got 8. Nelson Jr. got held and turned it over. No whistle. And Slauson on the move. Oh! Uchipino. Dallas one more to the corner. And that 3 finds the target. Luma again. But Philadelphia with a lot of work to do. Under a minute to play here in the 3rd, and they're down 34.
And this is the time of a game like this, you know, coaching staff just watching to see who's going to continue to play through the tape, play through the wire, particularly for Philadelphia. Right now, obviously, this has been a tough night for them offensively and defensively. But their offense, I think, and the problems they've had there has been their biggest challenge for their own defense. You want to see who's willing to compete through this. Because, again, you're auditioning. You don't know what set of eyes are on you that potentially could get intrigued by something they see, regardless of the score.
Nelson Jr. put the eye in ISO that time and couldn't score. Vanagas back out to the wing. A rare miss from deep, but the rebound by Carter Bryant. 8 seconds to go. Vanagas got a little bit of food on the mismatch. He couldn't cash, and that's going to be the end of 30 minutes of play here in Las Vegas in game number 2 of our doubleheader here on ESPN. 10 minutes to go. Spurs leading comfortably.
We're back in Las Vegas. Vegas, where the Spurs have an 87-55 lead over the 76ers. I'm with Jameer Nelson Sr., and I don't know if that's a good thing or not for you, considering this is a difficult thing for you. Assistant GM of the Sixers, your son's currently playing for the Spurs. How do you feel?
Not good right now. My team is down by, quite a bit. Obviously always good to see your kids play and be successful what they're doing. Just in terms of us, we have to be more aggressive, less turnovers, and make smarter decisions out there. Spurs are playing a lot harder, a lot smarter, a lot tougher right now. And, they just, from the tip, they brought it to us, and, we can't figure it out right now.
Given your experience playing in the league at such a high level, what kind of advice did you give to your son as he embarked upon this opportunity?
Well, the main thing is, obviously we have the same name, but just go be yourself. He's worked hard. He's gotten himself to this point, and, he's been patient, and he's been successful throughout the process. So, I'm happy for him to see him grow year by year and do things the right way. I think, hard work pays off, and, if he continues to do it, he'll continue to get to where he needs to be.
How do you think his game could add value to the Spurs organization overall?
Well, I have some guys over there that I grew up with in Orlando. So, it's just one of the things that, he's in a good spot. He's done a great job of figuring things out and being himself. Like I said, I think the one thing is, obviously the Spurs is a historic and great organization. So he has some good people there that's teaching and helping him.
Obviously, we were bummed out that we didn't get to see VJ Edgecombe play tonight, but he had an unbelievable debut in Salt Lake City. What did you think of his game in that debut, and what excites you about him joining the organization?
Well, just his spirit, his attitude, and his professionalism at such a young age. You choose a guy at the number 3 pick, and you're trying to figure out if that guy can be a star, and I think that's who we picked, and we're happy with him. I think you saw a glimpse of what he can be and who he can be. It's just a matter of him keep getting better and progressing like the rest of the young guys. And, we have a great coaching staff, great player dev staff, and, we have a good, game plan for him to get to where we want him to go.
You were the GM of Philly's G League team a season ago, elevated to assistant GM now. What excites you about the role that you're currently in?
The challenge. It's new, it's different. I accept the challenge, and I'm a goal setter and things like that. So, I just want to help the organization where I can and continue to grow myself.
As I sat down, they were throwing out things to the fans. I just have to know, is your reaction time down because you didn't help out head coach Nick Nurse here? Nick Nurse just got pelted.
Yeah, that was a little different. I've never seen that before. Luckily, I got up quick enough to not get hit. Coach took the bullet for me today.
We appreciate the time, Jameer. Thank you so much. Best of luck to your son as well.
Thank you.
Mark.
Great job, Katie. And it's got to be a wonderful thing to watch your son play and be an evaluator and part of the NBA family still, and stay uber close to the game that you play and love so much. No doubt, because players on that level cast such a large shadow. Right? Yeah. So your children oftentimes are naturally drawn to the game. But, the things that his dad did as a college player and did as an NBA player, that's tough. Yeah. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of things that kids sometimes feel like they're trying to live up to. So to see them have success even to this level, and certainly his future is very bright. I think the best is yet to come for him. Yeah, that's got to be incredibly proud moment for Jameer to be able to watch his son do this. Nelson Jr. averaged 10.3 points per game and 3 games in the California Classic. 8 on the shot clock for the Spurs. Minix from the corner. A little bit strong, and here's the Sixers running it back. Then Bona banging it. And he yammed it straight down. And timeout by the Spurs. A Bona fide and qualified. Certified. Back after the break. Coming up on SportsCenter, that's next with Nicole Briscoe and David Lloyd. Jason Kidd reacts to Cooper Flag's Summer League debut. Game you saw a moment ago right here on ESPN. Shams joins the show to discuss Jalen Williams' contract and a late inning walk-off at Yankee Stadium. You're going to be on SportsCenter too? You do? I'll be on SportsCenter.
Don't miss the leg
I will
set.
not be talking about the late game walk-off in this game. I can tell you that.
Must-see TV.
We're not going to get that in this one. Unless we see something unprecedented in the next 8.5 minutes.
I want you to break down the stack pick and roll action on this.
Joe, you got it.
Jameer Nelson Jr. sprays it to the wing. Minix with a high arcing three off the mark. And Barlow quickly across midcourt. That's going to be a foul against Nelson Jr. on the drive and the shot. We're going to have a couple shots for San Antonio. Pardon me, for Philadelphia. Mintz going to the free throw line. Spent his senior year of high school at Oak Hill Academy before going on to Syracuse. Went undrafted in 2024. Actually started for the Orangemen as a freshman and then returned to school after averaging a little over 16 and 4 assists per game. All ACC as a sophomore. Trying to find his way. 6'3", 172 pounds. Knocks down the second free throw. He's got 9.
Been a pretty wild time in the NBA, right? Since we left the NBA Finals.
Yes.
And had the ecstasy and agony of that situation. OKC winning their first title. And then the image we're all going to have of Tyrese Halliburton pounding the floor after tearing his Achilles, and Indiana losing Game 7. But then immediately you get into the draft and free agency, man. There's been a lot of activity around the league. Coaching hires, everything else. A whole lot in the last 18 days since the NBA Finals ended.
Always interesting. It's a year-round news cycle now in the NBA, and New York Knicks recently holding their introductory news conference for new head coach Mike Brown, who I think is a fantastic fit for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I'm a big Mike Brown guy. Sign me up. I just think he's so sharp, great communicator,
incredibly well prepared.
He's won in this league at a pretty high level. And there's some of the other list of names that you'll see now coaching teams this year. So there's been quite a bit, as there usually is, quite a bit of coaching turnover in the NBA.
Intrigued to see Doug Christie instill his philosophy and his culture in Sacramento. Former Kings legend, and he was a guy that liked to guard, so I'd expect the Kings would be picking up 94 feet and playing some intense defense this year.
You had some interesting situations where there were, interim coaches taking over jobs during the season that kept the job after, which doesn't typically happen a lot of times. An interim will take over because of a firing, or in the case of Mitch Johnson with, Greg Popovich's health concerns. A lot of times, you're going to go and you're going to conduct a search. You're going to find a guy. It's not going to be the interim that's been there the whole time. But in the case with Doug Christie in Sacramento, was able to do that.
David Adelman
was able to do that.
He took over with
Thomas Isla.
Yeah. Adelman took over with 4 games, was it, to go in the regular season? I mean, that was as absurd as it comes. And Barlow couldn't keep control of the basketball, but
and then you have situations like New York, where Tom Thibodeau takes the organization to a place they haven't been in a quarter of a century, and that job still opens. And you and I were talking before the game, saying, Mike Brown, you look at that situation, and more of these jobs open up now, Jonesy, that you've got talent in place and you've got expectations from day one. That didn't used to be the case. It felt like you were typically taking over a 25-win team. And more, we see these jobs open up with star players in place, signed, and a team that's got expectations to contend.
Yeah.
But that's the window now in the NBA. It's short. You've got to get it done in a hurry. Unless you're taking over a complete and total rebuild, you might get a little bit more time. But more and more, you're seeing teams that have won at a pretty high level in the regular season not have the playoff success they were looking for, make coaching changes, and Mike Brown just walked into one of those situations.
Yeah. Didn't even a lot of times when you win, how long can you keep it together? With the recent salary structure and salary cap. 6.5 minutes to go here. Nelson Jr. will bring it up. They'll hit him at midcourt. He breaks the pressure and turns it over. So Philadelphia gets the desired result.
You know, you sit there and you see Jameer Nelson Jr. turn it over right in front of his dad, and you think that's got to be a little bit difficult. My dad, dearly departed, miss you, Pops. Know you're looking down on me right now, but he was a baseball coach. Okay, I was a baseball player at a very young age. I had a growth spurt when I was about 13, 14 years old, and I decided to play basketball. But he never really knew that much about it. So, you know, I could go.
He couldn't kill you.
2 for 13, and we'd have a very pleasant conversation in the car on the way home.
That drive home was okay.
It was fine, man. It was fine.
You can hear Nelson Jr. right there saying, yeah, they've been hanging on my arms all game. Going to be a foul against the Sixers. Lawson. Nelson Jr. double team. Sifo cross court one more. Is good by Carter, who just checked into the ball game and knocked down the 17th three of the night for San Antonio. They're 17 to 33.
Yeah, Cam Carter just a shade under 40% from the three at LSU. So he can shoot it. It's a little bit of an unorthodox release, and it's a very high arc on that shot. But, man, it typically has a very positive result when he lets it go from deep.
Shot 40% last year at LSU. When undrafted. Started all 32 games there. His 83s on the season. Ranked 6th overall in school history. This time Carter drives the closeout. Turns it over, though. Dorvik working against Nelson Jr., who turns him over. Nice bounce pass inside, and Sifo punches it home.
You know, Jones, you talked about being undrafted, and far more guys here in Vegas Summer League are undrafted than were drafted. What does it take then if you're undrafted? What's the route you're going to take? The bottom line is you have to refuse to be told no and add to your game, but most importantly, do something exceptional. At the NBA level, there's a few guys on every roster that do everything well, and then everybody else has a lane, and you better be elite at something. And you've got to find what that is and make your mark and differentiate yourself and just have a ton of resiliency and be tough-minded, thick-skinned.
Well, Carter knocked down another bucket. His super power must be scoring. A whistle and a foul underneath. Timeout with 4:31 to go in the game. And the Spurs still... Okay, we're going to stay right here, we're told now. I like what Carter's done since checking into the ball game. Cam Carter just 6'3", 190 pounds.
Eight different Spurs have hit a three in this game. And that's been the difference. I mean, a lot of things have been different between these two teams tonight, but obviously that's a big one. When you shoot the ball that well from the three-point line, it's just not typical in Summer League action because the quality shots aren't as good because there's not a lot of flow and rhythm to the offense. But the Spurs, they have looked like a well-oiled machine tonight on both ends from the very beginning of this game.
A lot of effort, too. Here's Carter, surveys.
He deserves a heat check.
He's going to take you up on it. After knocking down his first two field goals and his first miss. Take a look at Carter here on the defensive end. Might have gotten hooked a little bit, but they get the miss nonetheless. He's running the floor. Nelson Jr. brings it across. Oh, nice hezzy and lane by Jameer Nelson Jr. Little atonement in front of Pops that time. Feel free to look over.
Looking unimpressed. Come on, Jameer.
Got to be stunting like his daddy on this one. Same foot, same hand.
NBA 2K26 Summer League is proudly sponsored by NBA 2K26. Rated.
Summer League action continues tonight in Las Vegas on NBA TV, ESPN, and then the ESPN app. On NBA TV tomorrow, Memphis at Boston at 4. Knicks taking on the Pistons at 6, followed by Chicago, Toronto at 8 o'clock. And the night caps off with the Clippers taking on the Houston Rockets at 10 p.m. Eastern time. The lob up top, great set out of the timeout by the Sixers for the bucket. Almanza finishing off that bucket. Everybody eats tonight for the San Antonio Spurs from downtown, Tim Laker. That time, Agbo out of USC.
18th make, I believe.
Wow.
You know, we're used to seeing NBA teams now get up there, 18, 20 made threes is not a rare occurrence in the NBA anymore, but it is in this setting, particularly shorter quarters and just, guys all out there trying to showcase who they are. That doesn't typically lead to high-level percentage shooting from the three-point line. The Spurs have just dialed it in tonight.
Well, the championship game will be on July 20th right here on ESPN, and I don't know if you've seen the rings they give out this year. Have you seen them? Oh, Diamond's dancing. I mean, like, for what it's worth.
No, it's worth something.
I'll take trophy.
A ring is a ring. Come on.
That thing got more carrots than a rabbit in it. You should see it. 2:50 to go. Now the second out top. Rejects the screen. Todorovic got blocked but fouled on the attempt. So he'll go to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Todorovic out of Pepperdine. Undrafted rookie. 6'8", 190 pounds. Averaged 18.3 points per game this past season. Leading the Wave to the West Coast Conference semis, despite going just 10 of 21 during the regular season. He knew that was off, went after the rebound, and couldn't get it.
And I believe so. Both of these teams tonight without their top picks, Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, not playing tonight, but we do hope to see them going forward. Some point here in Vegas. Hopefully for Dylan Harper can be Saturday in that matchup with Cooper Flagg. And VJ Edgecombe with the thumb sprain. Not exactly sure what the plan is going to be for him going forward.
He missed one of the Sixers games in the Salt Lake City Summer League as a result of that sprain. Nice tip up top off the miss by Thomas. 2 minutes to go. Farrakhan trying to turn the corner. Agbo with the pull-up midi. Looks good. He's knocked down a couple of shots since coming in. That three is short and rebounded by San Antonio. Carter on the move. Thought about throwing up the lob. Got caught in between and turned it over.
That's why as a shooter, shoot it.
Let's think this.
Pull it. Pull it. 43-point game, minute 30, open floor. Don't have to be told twice.
Yep. Nolly out top against Carter. Sixers run a little stack pick and roll there. Almanza inside with a jump hook. He's got 4.
Well, we didn't get a chance to see every team in here today, but this has been very impressive what San Antonio did in this game. Just the way they've looked, the energy they played with, and the way they played together. They have the look of a team, and from years past, you know, opening night gives you an indicator.
Right.
Like who's here with a different type of purpose and playing at a higher level. That's what it looks like this San Antonio team. They have a feel about them that looks like that, where maybe you see them playing for something when this thing ends in about 10 days.
There's definitely some intentionality to them tonight and some purposefulness. That three comes off, and Agbo with the rebound.
Now, see, this is
I wouldn't blame a brother if he wanted to get one up here.
Listen to me. This is the classic example. In the NBA now, these teams will take this 24-second violation and hand the ball to the other team. Summer League, I say you get it up.
Yeah. Trying to get a bag, man. Trying to put a little bit of money on tape. There it is. That's Carter. Carter is all of us, Tim. And that'll do it. San Antonio Spurs take it easily. Jumped out to an early big lead under a three-point shooting torrent and going to win it 111-70. Thanks for watching.